This is the book of Philippians, chapter 4, and verse 4. In the GNT, it reads, "May you always be joyful in your union with the Lord. I say it again, rejoice." Shalom, shalom, Akim. Before I begin, I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim Rachakorash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. Salakia. Peace, blessings, and salutations unto the hopeful elect who are listening in truth and sincerity, and to the few sincere Akwath who are listening and becoming a woman. I say Shalom. I'm the brother Gabari Allah, coming at you with another lesson. Okay, and this lesson is going to be entitled something along the lines of um, don't think about the destination or enjoy the path. Okay, and well, what I am referring to is right now we are in captivity. Okay, right now things are not looking our way. Okay, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing to want to make it to the kingdom. Obviously, that's what we are striving for. But something that we can all benefit from is understanding where we are right now and what path of the journey we are in right now. Okay, we are not yet in the kingdom. There are certain things that there are actually multiple things that we suffer through daily because we are in this captivity. All right. And that's what we have to understand, that we are still in our captivity. The scriptures say, "Yet are you still in this day in your captivity," roughly paraphrasing, you know. And because we are still in our captivity, it is important to note where we are in our journey and to enjoy it, so to speak. Okay? Because the beautiful part about this journey, the part where you catch hell, the kingdom is going to be so much sweeter, you know? Okay, think about it. Think about rich people who are born into rich families already. Right? Think about them. When they're born in a rich family, they already they don't have to suffer nothing. That's not sweet to them. It's something basic to them. Okay, because they don't deserve it. But us being in this captivity, okay, when a rich man comes from nothing, he understands a lot of things. Okay, you know, I'm not really too keen on Andrew Tate like that, but a lot of the things that he says is real. Okay, and one of his main things that I've heard him say is suffering. Okay, and the importance of understanding the suffering. Okay, so this is why I opened up with the book of Philippians, chapter 4 and verse 4. May you always be joyful in your union with the Lord. I say it again, rejoice. Okay, so we gotta be rejoiceful. We gotta be in a spirit where we understand where we are. We understand that we're in captivity. We understand that we're gonna eventually unite with the Heavenly Father, or yeah, ultimately we're gonna reunite with the Heavenly Father and the only begotten Son, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. You know, in the clouds we're gonna reunite with Yahushai. You know, and that's what we're striving for. But right now we are in a path. Right now we have to focus on the battles that we're at right now. There's nothing wrong with looking forward to the kingdom. Obviously, you should look forward to the kingdom. You should be, thinking about the gold. You should be thinking about the the just everything we're gonna have. You should be thinking about those things. But at the same time, understand that we are still in captivity right now. Okay, all of us in unison, from the elder apostle Tahar on down, from the lowest Israelite to the highest Israelite. Even the heathen are in captivity right now. you know, and not necessarily to the point of us Israelite, us Jake, but they are still, you know, they're still sorrowful, because this kingdom is fucked. This kingdom is wicked as all, you know. But a simple mind switch, will help you get this kingdom or help you in this road to the kingdom. Okay, and just being joyful. Okay, and you're gonna have certain things that come into your life and you're like, fuck, bro. But if you're constantly looking at the glass half empty, you're not gonna have anything to rejoice over. You know, you're constantly looking at you'll constantly have that woe is me spirit. You know, you constantly have that spirit of you can't catch a break. You constantly have that spirit of just constantly complaining, man. You're constantly looking at the negatives. Okay, you have to get off that spirit and understand that, with the simple mind switch, you look at the good of it. And at the time it may not seem like there's any good to it. What's so good about suffering? Well, look at your past sufferings. Look at what you dealt with in the past. You know, whether it be whether it be, I don't know, a job. Okay, say you got laid off your job. Okay, you got laid off. What did the Lord do to fix it? He gave you a better job. He gave you more discipline. You got fired from that job because you were lazy. Okay, you gained discipline. You know, your woman left you. Okay, why did she leave? Okay, because like I made a lesson, take accountability. And part of taking accountability is understanding that during this journey you're gonna mess up. Okay, it's part of this corruptible body. You're gonna fuck up. But the beautiful thing about this journey is that those fuck ups, you know, when you look at what you could learn from it, you start to be better with every single fuck up. That's why the journey gets harder and harder as you go. So this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, and I'm gonna start at verse. Um, I'll just get to the point. Verse 4. Then you will find favor with both Yahweh and people, and you will earn a good reputation. It says, verse 5, here's the point. Trust in the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, with all your heart. Do not depend on your own understanding. Okay? So just because you're going through it, you're suffering, right? You have to look at the bigger picture, man. And that's very important to look at the bigger picture. Why are you suffering? Look in the inward man. What did you do to cause this? And what can you do to prevent this from happening in the future? What can you do to say, okay, this was my problem. Let me fix it. Let me fix whatever it was. You know, a lot of men are clingy in this world. You know, a lot of men have that clingy spirit. And I should know because I used to be one of them. you know, I used to be, and I go into this a lot, because it's something that the Lord has taught me, and it's something that when you're in the midst of it, it's very hard to realize what you gain from it in the future, man. So it says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not depend on your own understanding. Seek His will in all you do, and He will show you which path to take. So when you're thinking about, okay, what does the Lord want me to learn from this? That makes your suffering go a lot smoother, man, because now you know, okay, this was the problem. I'm going to fix it going forward. And that's when the Heavenly Father can work with you. Okay, He's learning. All right? Just like a math problem. When you mess up, they'll give you a new problem. And if you keep making the same mistake in that math problem, they're gonna keep you there. You're gonna get the same problem over and over and over again. You won't be able to succeed in that problem. So if you're constantly making the same mistake over and over again, going back to the job, you got fired for being lazy. You get a new job and you're still lazy. You're gonna get fired again. So you got a woman, you're too complacent, you're too lazy, you're too arrogant. Okay, you don't show mercy to your woman. You know, I was watching a lesson on the brother's GMS Inspiration of the Almighty. Okay, and he was going into that, showing mercy. Because we are ordinary men. Understand that we did nothing for this truth. We did nothing. We don't deserve this truth. We don't deserve this ministry. Truly, we don't. So who are we to look down upon other people, man? The same mercy that the Lord showed us, you got to show to other people. Because he could have easily chose anyone else. We didn't do anything for this ministry. Truly, we don't deserve it at all, man. Well, you think you're some high and almighty, you think you're some high and mighty individual. The Lord ain't messing with that, bro. You got to really look within yourself, man. Okay? You have to earn that good reputation. But it's like I'm getting a little off track, but going into enjoying this journey, you know, say your woman leave you. What's something that you can work on? You didn't show enough mercy. All right. Moving forward, now you know to show more mercy. Now you know, okay, boom, I can do this. Boom, I learned that. Do you not think the Lord has the power to give you a better woman or return that old woman if he was pleased to deal with her? Do you not think the Lord has the power to give you a better job once you learn your lesson? Do you not think the Lord wants to give you these things once you learn your lesson? So enjoy the journey and enjoy, have fun in the struggle, which is really hard to really do. But once you master the concept of, you know, the concept of just attraction and detachment, you know, um, it's a very powerful thing, man, because now you start looking at your problems like, boom, okay, I was fucking up here. This is an opportunity, man. You got to look at things as opportunities. All right. So it says, seek his will in all you do, and he will show you which path to take. Don't be impressed with your own wisdom. Instead, fear the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai and turn away from evil. Salakia. Then you will have healing for your body and strength for your bones. Okay. So, that's pretty much all I had. I didn't have too many scriptures, but you have to really look within yourself, man. This whole journey, this whole process of having this ministry in us. Because you have to understand, we are the representations of Yahweh Shai, man. Each individual, the representation of Yahweh Shai. Because you have his spirit in you, bro. And the scriptures talk about having a good reputation with even the people. So going back to that brother's video, he was mentioning how everybody should have a good report about you. Your friends, your families, your woman. Okay, and if they don't have a good report about you, that'll make them a liar. And that's between and Yahweh Shem Shai knows that they be lying. But if it's true, oh boy, you fucked up, man. So I say all that to say, have more abundance, have the spirit of abundance, have the spirit of okay, I'm going through this, but what can I learn from this so that this doesn't happen again? What can I learn from this? Okay, and a lot of brothers need to show more mercy, man. And I'm speaking to myself first and foremost, because when I was in this, man, that video that I watched really touched me, because I'm like, damn, he's right. Who the hell am I to think I'm this high and mighty individual when I didn't do anything for this ministry? It was given to me by the Heavenly Father. He could have chose the next man. He chose me. So having more mercy is very, very indicative, of who you are as an individual. Because Yahushua was a very merciful individual, man. I mean, man, Yahushua, Yahushua is such a powerful, powerful man. I can't begin to describe the honors and the glory that Yahushua should receive daily from us, man. But you can go for days and days, speaking on Yahushua. But that's pretty much the lesson, man. Lord willing was edifying. Lord willing, you got something out of this. Okay. Enjoy the path and be more merciful.